Drive. I don't think that's a good idea, Mr. Woods. You're having trouble standing up. Give me the keys. Foul drive. Tiger, you're sweating all over God's green earth. You're popping pills the way I pop. I was going to say Altoids or Tic Tacs or something, but honestly, that's not really my game. But Tiger, moments ago, has pleaded not guilty to driving impaired, officially DUI. That came in today. It comes in hours after we have been told that they found 2 little white capsules in his pocket. Okay, painkillers. It's no secret. He's a man who loves his pills. And, you know, I think when it's all said and done, that'll be his calling card. That'll be where people will forgive. They'll look at all of his surgeries. They'll look at all the injuries and say, he's got a problem. He's an addict. But for the here and now, Tiger's staying away from the game. Apparently, he's not going to comment on anything, which I think makes a lot of sense. I think the last thing, even the most passionate Tiger Woods fans, and I happen to be one of them. I am a huge fan of Tiger. You don't want an apology right now. It's too soon, and I don't think it would mean anything to anyone. You got to let a little bit of time pass by. But not a good story today coming out earlier. All the details on what happened to Woods and how impaired he was and just how everything actually did take place when the police officer arrived at the scene. Said that he looked down at his phone. Oh, there's a shock. I mean, look at you out there driving right now. It's unbelievable how incredibly defensive you have to be as a driver nowadays, day and night, every single day and night, because that's half the battle. And it's not only at red lights. It's not only at stop signs. I mean, I get it all the time in the left lane on Phillips Highway. There's people on there going 10, 15 miles per hour slower than the right lane, and they're on their phone. So, listen, you're never going to be able to fix it. You just have to deal with it. But again, I mean, much like a defensive back in the NFL, you got to learn to put your head on a swivel. And those who are real good will understand I got to drive thinking defense, defense, defense. Defense wins championships, right? It should be a new model that sounds a little bit like this. Defense will get you and your family comfortably back to the homestead because of the way people drive. And it's not only here. It's absolutely everywhere you do go in this great country. So that's about it with Tiger. I got way too many important things to do, including the owners' meetings, their completion today in Phoenix, Arizona, and Ryan O'Halloran is going to join us in 32 minutes. The columnist from the Florida Times. He's done a real nice job covering the owners' meetings the last couple of days. I did listen in its entirety today during a media scrum. Liam Cohen, I think it was 42 minutes worth. And he was asked all sorts of different questions, not only about Jacksonville, but about Tampa Bay, about Los Angeles, about Sean McVay, about Baker Mayfield. He was asked by Carolina writers about Devin Lloyd. He was just asked really a lot of good questions. And certainly there was plenty on the Jaguars, which I'm going to dive into. Boy, it's too bad I only have O'Halloran for 10 to 12 minutes because I've got about 25 questions. Many are league-wide, but I think I can cover that on my own. I have enough confidence that I believe I can get it done. I think as though getting O'Halloran on the program, I should make that to Jaguars-only football. You know, what he had to say yesterday or the report he had on Travis Hunter, right? The report he had on Anton Harrison. No surprise, fifth-year option is going to be picked up. Just other conversations about getting deals done with Parker Washington or Brenton Strange or what have you. So there's really a lot of material to cover with O'Halloran that is Jaguars related. And again, I'm going to get to that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. It has been announced. If you've been listening to us, you are well aware now. Again, not a surprise, but Orlando will be the destination for the Jaguars in 2027. So the construction continues. Apparently, they're ahead of pace. Every time I go over there, there's just more and more growth. And it's going to be very interesting when it's all said and done. We know only 6 home games this year in 2026, and there'll be less as far as seating capacity. Next year, you go down the road to Orlando for one season. By 2028, the feeling is the building will be complete. It is going to be state-of-the-art. It is going to be absolutely incredible, and Jaguars will have a full slate of ball games coming back in 2028. Also today, the Jaguars have asked the NFL for the bye week after their consecutive games, which will be played in London. I like that. I do. I mean, you're going over there now for who knows how long it'll be. Are they going to leave on a Thursday? If so, you stay 10 days. I wouldn't think they'd leave any earlier. I don't know. Logistically speaking, everyone's got a different opinion. That's always been the case with the West Coast. Do you go to the West Coast on a Friday? Do you go to the West Coast on a Saturday? Do you make it a business trip and get in and get out? Do you make it more of a let's deal with the jet lag, get you in on a Friday, give you an extra 24 hours to get used to, your surroundings and try to get your head right. So O'Halloran on that today as well. The NFL has not responded as of right now, but I would think that they would be good enough to actually, take that request and come forward with it and say, no question, there you go. You want it, you got it. I'm under the belief the schedules are already set. I'm also under the belief that the Jaguars asked about a bye after both games in London as soon as it was announced. And my guess would be that Shad Khan and Mark Lamping, and then that trickled over to Tony Baselli and James Gladstone, was well aware of the fact that they were going to be playing 2 in London before we actually were notified that they were going to play a couple in London. All right, the story of the day is about the officials. And, one of the worst liars that we deal with on a year-to-year basis is NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. He's just really bad at it. You would think a guy who's making $65 million plus would be a good liar. I haven't played cards in who knows how long. I'd love to be at a poker table with Roger Goodell because, his nose literally grows like Pinocchio. All right, so what happened 2 months ago at the Super Bowl? His State of the NFL address. Do you remember his quote? His shocking quote, one that I didn't lose sleep over, but it certainly boiled my blood when Goodell said this, quote, he's amazed at how good the officials are in the NFL. All right, let's speed it up about 60 days. The exact opposite is happening. It's headed up by Jeff Miller. He is the NFL Executive Vice President. When it comes to officiating, he's talking about improving officiating, more accountability for officiating, performance measures, okay? Additional off-season training for bad performers. The NFL wants greater accountability for officials, which is absolutely, totally shocking if you think about it. From the bottom of the pecking order, which should be us in the media, up to the players, the coaches, the front office, the owners, everyone in the NFL gets criticized. You as fans, you rip every single one of those categories, whether you like them or you don't like them. Most of it is centered around what? Winning or losing. The only thing in sports, period, that is protected are NFL officials. You cannot ask a question unless you are a appointed pool reporter in a certain scenario. You go without saying anything. I bring this up quite a bit because I didn't know. But during my time as a Jaguar sideline reporter, if you remember, and again, I think it was Nick Foles to, I'm trying to remember, I think it was DJ Chark. The touchdown pass and the sack and the injury to his shoulder, I want to say it was Frank Clark of the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, it was halftime, and I grabbed the referee as he was walking into the tunnel, okay? And I said, why did you not call a 15-yard personal foul? The new rule had just been implemented that you can't put your full body weight on a quarterback. My eyes, and they're 20/20, all right, courtesy of Shmunez Vision. My eyes said, that's full body weight. And he said it wasn't body weight. Well, lo and behold, you talk about a rat. You talk about you talk about an informant. You talk about Whitey Bulger. Okay, you talk about Sammy the Bull Gravano. Monday morning, I get a call. My buddy Dan Edwards, Baloo. You cannot ask an official a question. Okay, I reprimanded politely by a buddy of mine, but it's one thing to take the high road on a story like that. It's another turn around and rat. It's another turn around and tattle. And that's exactly what happened in this particular case. But it's not about me. It's about the operation as a whole. You cannot question referees. Yet all of us question the media, the players, the coaches, the front office, and the owners. The owners care more about protecting officials, or have up until right now, because they're at the negotiation table, than they do their own players, than they do their own team. Think about that for a moment. So they're nowhere close. They want 6.5% yearly. The owners are willing to pay that. The referees are saying, we want 10%. They don't want any accountability for bad performances. They want seniority, a based system on, years in the league for playoff opportunities, what ends up meaning, more cash for them. So this is really nuts. And we'll get to some of the rule changes. One in particular that was passed today that is absolutely only designed if, in fact, there are going to be replacement officials. Listen, I want this thing to get done. All right? We're better off with these officials. But I do agree with the fact that they have to show a little bit more responsibility. There has to be more accountability for what they do. They escape. They leave right through the front door. None of this hiding through the back door. They go right through the front door because no one can get to them. And to me, that remains a problem in this league we all do love. All right, told you about my 2020 from Shmunez Vision. That is absolutely the case. You know what? There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of bad information being tossed around when it comes to cataract, right? You hear the word, and it can be petrifying to so many because the initial assumption is, I need surgery. No, that is not always the case. There may be another remedy. What you need to do, first off, is make yourself an appointment at Shmunez Vision. Also, there's all this equipment, right? Advanced stuff. And what happens when you go from machine to machine to machine to machine to machine? They're going to raise your bill. Now, Shmunez Vision, they have all those machines. They have everything that's advanced as far as technology, but you may not need to go to those machines, if that makes any sense to you, okay? They are always looking out for you. They want to give you the best value for your money. And if you do need surgery, more than 37 years worth of experience with Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt. Check them out online. Also go to Instagram. Get the very latest by going to Shmunez Vision there on Instagram. All right, when I come back, let's get right to the rules that did change today in the NFL for the 2026 season. We're exactly 20 minutes away from Ryan O'Halloran, who's going to join us. And again, we're going to make that Jaguars only. All right. I'm going to give you the rule changes here on the other side. With O'Halloran, it's going to be specifically on the Jags. So that's all coming up this hour. It's great to have you with us. We call it Into the Night.
This is the playmaker and three-time Super Bowl champion, Michael Irvin, and you are listening to 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Superstation.
Indoor golf in Ponte Vedra is here. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Play the best courses in the world at Back Nine Golf. Top simulators, analytics to improve your game, or just have a blast with friends or a client. Get this, you can bring your own beverages, including cocktails. Go to back9golf.com, book a tee time today. Membership opportunities, lessons, Back Nine Golf in Ponte Vedra, next to Nice High School. Back Nine Golf, where golf never sleeps.
Mark your calendar for Friday, April 17th at the Yards for the second annual Birdies and Bounces, presented by the Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation. This premier golf and pickleball tournament brings together competition, community, and purpose for an unforgettable day on the course and courts. Proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida, helping create great futures for local kids. Register or learn more at bgcnf.org and click events. Join us for a day of fun and impact for youth in our community.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
Pickett here. Restore comfort and confidence with oculoplastic specialist Mary Kate Wilson, MD, at the Eye Associates, Jacksonville's expert in oculofacial plastic and reconstructive care. Dr. Wilson specializes in eyelid surgery, cosmetic and reconstructive procedures, and treatments, always with a personalized approach. Now seeing patients at the beaches, Southside, and St. John's locations. To schedule your consultation with Dr. Wilson, call the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet A. Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
Get ready for spring turkey season at Green Acres Sporting Goods. Find shotguns trusted in the field from Browning, Beretta, and Benelli. Plus, the newest bows are ready to test shoot from Hoyt and Matthews. For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has helped Northeast Florida hunters gear up with confidence. Stop by Green Acres today at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard, or shop online anytime at greenacresporting.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tonight's show brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. Again, bad driving, it's all around. You got to be a defensive driver, but you could be injured and all alone and thinking, I have nowhere to turn. I'm not going to call a law firm because they're going to charge me and I can't afford it. Not at the Alexander Law Practice. You never come out of pocket. So, no retainer fee, no consultation fee, no billing on your phone call, nothing. Okay? You're never going to come out of pocket. And you get to talk to Rick Alexander, who's made it really his quest in life to have a relationship with you people here in Duval. Great law firms all over the place, statewide, nationally speaking, no doubt, right? But what about one of yours? What about here in town? Duval, like Rick Alexander. So if you've been injured in a car accident, your car's totaled, you're physically wounded, pick up the phone, 400-6600. Better yet, go to Alexander Law Practice online. Everything will be explained right to you, and you're going to get it with one of Jacksonville's best, a lawyer here in town who is a huge Jaguars fan. Okay? He is a huge Gators fan. He's a huge sports fan, but he's involved as well with every single one of his clients. He's old school. Go to Alexander Law Practice for all the details. All right, some people are sending me this stuff, and I get it. It's going to burn your blood a little bit, just a little bit, but don't be alarmed. Okay, the Orlando Jaguars. People keep sending me that. A couple of knuckleheads have put that stuff on social media. You and I both know they're rebuilding this stadium. It's going to be absolutely sensational when it's all said and done. Let them have fun with it. Don't listen to it. Okay, I wasn't even aware of it until a couple of you have sent it to me already. You can send anything you want. 641-1010 on our text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also get us on YouTube at 1010XL into the night. Ryan O'Halloran in 13 minutes. Really looking forward to the conversation. He's live from Phoenix, where the owners' meetings have taken place. All right, let me tell you what has changed. Number one, onside kick at any time. It used to be only the team that was trailing could announce that it was an onside kick late in the game. That is no longer the deal. You still have to announce it. Okay? You can't surprise anyone with an onside kick. So you still must make that announcement, but a team who is ahead can also call for an onside kick. The tampering window, that period that lasts 48 hours where all of these contracts get done, this rule was submitted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now every single team can reach out to a maximum of 5 different free agents and have a conversation directly with the player, whether it's a phoner or whether it's a video, FaceTime, or whatever it may be. Currently, it's been the agency, right? That's really the only individual you can talk to about putting together a contract. Now teams get a maximum of 5 players that they can talk to during that 48-hour tampering period. All right, eliminate the kicking team's incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds. Typically, we see this if there's a penalty and you're kicking off from the 50. All right, I saw this listed 3 or 4 times. I didn't see what the penalty would be as far as where the ball begins for the opponent, but this is something that is absolutely going to change. All right, let's get to the meat here. This is the most important part. Officials, a couple of rule changes have gone through today. One is league-wide, whether it is full-time officials or replacement officials. The other rule team is designated specifically for replacement officials. Okay, number one, they are now going to allow lead personnel to consult with on-field officials about disqualifications that are flagrant or non-football acts. For instance, DK Metcalf having an altercation with a fan. He ended up getting suspended for 2 games. This has been the example. Nowadays, from those watching upstairs in New York can call down and say, hey, you got to throw DK Metcalf out of the game. What he just did was wrong. All right, so let's leave it at that. And there are other issues, but for the most part, this is about, excessive stuff that happens on the sideline. Remember, we saw some stuff even in the Super Bowl. We saw one in the NFC Championship game. There was some sideline battles that went back and forth that were not perhaps called the way they should have. They should have been on both teams. And I think in both of those cases, only one side ended up getting caught. The other rule change with officials applies only if there are replacements. So this is for 1 year only. And it'll allow NFL officiating, their department to now correct clear and obvious mistakes made by on-field officials that impact the game. Okay? What else is interesting is this same eye in the sky, if you will, from New York can contact replacement officials if, in fact, a flag was thrown that they believe shouldn't have been thrown. So I think we always get into that should have been a flag. That should have been a flag, right? That should have been a pass interference. That should have been a roughing the passer. That should have been a holding. Absolutely. When a flag is thrown, now that can be debated. But the flip side of all of this, if there is something that is so egregious that is missed, a blatant penalty that you can see, that I can see, that the whole world can see, but somehow the in-game officials missed it, they can be called upon now from upstairs to say, you should have thrown a flag. And the other side of it, if you threw one where it wasn't a penalty, sometimes they get it wrong. You can phone down and say, listen, you called the pass interference there. Let's go Travis Hunter, fourth quarter against Cincinnati, where the NFL league rule is what? It's different from college. You can have contact with a wide receiver, hand contact, as long as your head turns around and looks for the ball. And if you go back and watch that replay, Travis Hunter's head was turned around looking for the ball. Right? There's a penalty that was called. They can now reverse that. The exact opposite would be any other situation. I'll let you pick one where there was a clear case where it should have been a penalty, right? And the flag wasn't thrown. They can also contact the on-the-field officials and say, hey, man, you got to throw a flag. So this only is going to be implemented if they do not come to an agreement on getting the full-time officials to work. And, I did a lot of reading on the refs earlier today. They really are asking for a tremendous amount without responsibility when it comes to doing things that are not up to par, if that makes any sense. I just went through that rant about how they're the only form of anything in the NFL that does not end up getting criticized. And, I'm not one of those who believes that would change 180, but maybe there will be a little bit more responsibility if you give them somewhere near the 10% raise that they want yearly. The NFL right now said, we'll give you 6.45% a year, which is pretty good, right? I mean, these guys are all making 200, 250. Some are making 350. You're getting, a 6.5% raise on that. That's pretty good money for a part-time job. Hey, back to the situation where whether a flag was thrown or a flag wasn't thrown, okay? What they really identified as the places where you're going to see this most is discrepancy when it comes to face masks, when it comes to intentional grounding, when it comes to roughing the passer, when it comes to horse collar. There may be the greatest example of them all. Okay, how many horse collars have we seen that get missed where you're like, why wasn't that a penalty? And if you don't throw a flag, now again, you can phone down and say, listen, you got to throw a horse collar 15-yard personal foul on that play. It was blatantly obvious. We're watching the replay. So anyway, that's where we are. Pass interference, you can throw into that as well. Those are the examples that they gave us. And again, I want to be crystal clear on this. This only applies if they are replacement officials. In my mind, they should apply in general. I mean, why not? Make the game better. I hear very little people complain about the length of a football game, all right, compared to basketball or anything else. Make the game better. Use common sense. So I feel like they have kind of, but it's more separated towards whether or not the full-time officials will actually be here once the season does get underway. Okay, let's do it. Let's bring in our buddy Ryan O'Halloran. What a day, what a couple of days it has been, not only with league-wide changes, not as many as I really thought, but some pretty good stuff coming from the Jaguars. Some transparency, the very latest on Anton Harrison, the very latest on Travis Hunter, the very latest on several other issues with the Jaguars. Let's get you caught up on the very latest, and we'll do it with the columnist from the Florida Times-Union. Ryan O'Halloran joins Rick Ballou next.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Which school won the first NCAA men's basketball championship?
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Oregon Ducks won the first NCAA men's basketball championship in 1939. They defeated the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
There's no doubt that we were in good hands when our son's shoulder and hip issues were diagnosed quickly by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what your orthopedic issue is, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take a look. You'll be glad you did.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, David again with Royal Pest Services. Termites, chinch bugs, roaches. It's their time of year to shine. Preventative maintenance is a heck of a lot cheaper than treating an active infestation. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule your free estimate.
At G&H Tires and Service, the G stands for great pricing. The H, well, that means honest service. For over 20 years, Roger and his team have helped Jacksonville drivers stay safe on the road. Need brakes? Oil change? AC not blowing cold? Well, how about a super affordable $36 oil change? Affordable brake jobs, AC checks before summer hits, alignments for all these construction roads, and even free check engine light inspections. Locally owned, community driven. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% and homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Most people think we only know sports around here, but they're wrong. Frank Frangie here. I also know who to turn to when I need a floral arrangement, and that's Kuhn Flowers. When you need to send that someone something special, rely on Kuhn Flowers, online at kuhnflowers.com.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. It's a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity with no appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day with a rate that's at a 3-year loan. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out all their credit cards, started a home improvement project, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,500. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much cash you can get. No hard credit pull up front. Imagine, this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Loan Pronto, A-rated by the BBB, with nearly 2,800 five-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
All right, our weekly conversation with Ryan O'Halloran, columnist with the Florida Times-Union. He is in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, where he just met with team owner Shad Khan. How you doing, Ryan?
Good, Rick. Good to join you from the desert tonight.
Yeah, and you met with Gladstone, you met with Cohen, and now you have met with Shad Khan. So we have a lot of material to cover. All right, Orlando next year, no surprise. What did you get from Shad Khan that either involved that or perhaps something else right here in Duval?
Yeah, we'll start with the Orlando stuff. I mean, this was a fait accompli. They really didn't have any other options. Mark Lamping, the team president, said they won't have to make any improvements to the stadium down there to retrofit it for the NFL. And I asked him, how many games are you going to play in Orlando? He says there's 10 games available. The only thing they've committed to is one game in London. I do think that number is going to grow. They have the option of adding 2 more international games. Then we moved on to Shad Khan. He said it was a great day for the Jaguars to expand their fan base down to Orlando, which I agree with. But then we talked football, and I asked him, hey, what stood out about Cohn, Baselli, Gladstone? He says definitely taking things to a new level. He's confident that they can be able to sustain this for many years to come, and so you can tell just the excitement in his voice about his 15th season of Jaguars football is really noticeable.
When you got with Shad Khan, because he doesn't do a lot of interviews, do you get the sense that he's more involved now? Maybe he's just listening to better football people, including Tony Baselli. What do you make of where he is now compared to when he got here?
I think with the ownership, with the organizational setup they have now with Tony Baselli as the EVP, I think Tony, I don't want to say runs interference, but Tony is keeping Shad informed about everything going on the football side. And that's something that was the structure that Shad wanted to set up. He wanted the GM to be the GM. He wanted the coach to be the coach and have somebody working in concert with them. They can, work with the business side, make sure everybody on the organization is on the same page. And, that's one thing Mark Lamping said as well is, this structure has really helped, streamline things. And I think it's allowed Shad to be an owner and a fan instead of having to really get involved.
Yeah, and, we talked about them all collaborating, but, today listening to Liam Cohen get into the fact that James Gladstone, in his 11 picks, you could see where it's breaking off, and I think that's working well here for Jaguars fans. All right, let's get to Liam Cohen and James Gladstone for that matter. Let's begin with the biggest question. You got an update on Travis Hunter.
I did, and there's several layers to a Travis Hunter story. The first one is what position he's going to play full time. Liam Cohen said they haven't had those conversations about Hunter's role, but he goes, what goes unspoken is Travis Hunter knows what the depth chart is. He knows where he's needed most, and that's at corner. I asked Liam, would you think you'll see Travis Hunter on the field during OTAs or mandatory minicamp? He said he could not say that for certain, but then added, hey, he is very well ahead of schedule, according to the doctors and trainers, with his knee. Had knee surgery November 11th, so they had a lot of runway to work with. So, and then, also last thing on Hunter is the practice plan. In training camp, they go one day offense, one day defense. Well, in the regular season, he would play some offense, some defense in the same day. Mm-hmm. I think Liam says that was probably worked out better. So I think that's what, if you come out to the facility during training camp as a fan, I think you're going to see Travis Hunter switching jerseys a little bit.
Okay. Also, Liam Cohen, and we heard this from him and Gladstone the moment they got here, talking about the offensive line. But Liam Cohen, pretty expressive about how he really wants the rushing attack to improve.
Yeah, and this was something that he did not hide his feelings about late in the season. And he had a great quote yesterday, is that you can't let the stink get overshadowed by the fact you're winning. You have to go back to the drawing board. And that's when I said run game. He goes 100%. And so, I mean, it still ticks them off that they weren't able to run it as well as they did early in the season. So, the defense had to adjust, the O-line not block as well. That's something they've probably have figured out by now. But I do think this one, you're going to ride the hot hand in the red zone with Trevor Lawrence. That's what they did. But you need to run it better than they did during that winning streak. They ran for 150 plus in the playoff loss to Buffalo. So they found something there other than Buffalo stunk against the run.
Yeah, and no doubt, yes, no question about that. As we discuss things here with Ryan O'Halloran live from the owners' meetings in Phoenix. Of course, he is the columnist at the Florida Times-Union. All right, fifth-year option is going to be picked up on Anton Harrison. You got that confirmation from James Gladstone. Any sense at all about the conversation we had last week, the possibility of Harrison moving to left tackle?
That did not come up. I mean, what I did ask Gladstone, just to rewind a second, I did ask him about Cole Van Lannon, who sustained that knee injury in the last regular season game, missed the Buffalo game. And he sort of talked around it a little bit. He said it's not a long-term concern, but to me, if they feel like he may not be ready for training camp, well, that's why you don't trade Walker Little.
Mm-hmm.
You need to keep him at left tackle. I think Anton Harrison should stay at right tackle. He's found a home there. He started every game of his career, and I think he can be a long-term answer there. By picking up that option, which is fully guaranteed, it gives them a runway. Free agency now is 2 years away instead of 1 year away. So I think it made a lot of sense to reward the player.
All right, and Gladstone also told you that there have been conversations with those who represent Parker Washington, Brenton Strange and company.
He did. He sounded really optimistic about overall. He was asked about Washington and Strange. He went sort of another direction, said we're talking to a lot of guys, including veterans. To me, that would be Devon Hamilton at defensive tackle. I think they got to get him signed as well. What's going to be a subplot, Rick, as you know, is Trayvon Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I think Parker Washington and Brenton Strange have earned contract extensions. I think those will be done potentially by the start of training camp, if not the end of minicamp in June. Walker, I let him play it out. He had 3.5 sacks last year. That's not a $20 million player. It's not a $25 million player. You're already paying one of those in Josh Hines-Allen. One thing that Liam Cohen did put the kibosh on is moving Walker more inside on early downs. They like him as a run stuffer, kicking tight ends, but playing on the edge. You got to show some pass rush ability to play on the edge in this league. So I bet they're having some hard conversations with Trayvon Walker when he gets back.
Yeah. Cohen talked a little bit about, getting some rounds of golf in. He seemed kind of, he's an intense guy, but he seemed like he was enjoying his first off season as the head coach of the Jaguars. What did you say? I mean, last year they were just thrown into it. I mean, they weren't even ready for the scouting combine, for crying out loud. Then again, they don't go anyway. But what did you see? And, how do you feel that they think things are going and what they can? I mean, in my math, out of their starting 22, I realize it's really 24 if you look at the depth chart. They're losing 4 guys. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Where do you think they are compared to a year ago?
Well, I think they've had a chance to take a breath because you said it. I mean, they had James Gladstone's press conference on a Monday. He was in Indianapolis on a Tuesday. Now you're drinking out of the fire hose. And one thing that Liam brought up yesterday was at this time last year, the coaching staff was working until 10, 11 o'clock at night because that's what they had to do. He goes, now you're working more regular hours for a staff. He goes, you're still grinding, you're still working your butt up, you're not having to play catch up. And that's the big thing is they know who they got. They know who they inherited that are keepers. They know who they signed last year that will still be keepers. And I think they got the messaging right in terms of they made it known they were not going to be active in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
They made it clear months ago. So I think that told the fan base, hey, they're going to be a draft and develop. I would have liked them to go maybe explore the linebacker market a little bit in the first couple of days of free agency, but that board has been picked clean now, so you might as well wait. So I do think they'll work around the margins after the draft with some veterans and also just all the way up to week 1.
All right, Ryan, what did I miss? Give us a few other nuggets. You spoke with all 3 that, you were able to learn there the last couple of days.
Yeah, one thing about Gladstone is anybody who tells you what the compensatory picks are going to be next year is guessing.
Okay.
So, you're going to see projections, but every GM I've covered is usually off by a round.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's a third, it's a fourth. So, those are going to be chips to use, but you just don't know where they're going to come in. One thing he brought up is, he goes, remember, you can trade those. Well, don't be surprised next year at the trade deadline, they trade a pick that they don't know which round it is in. And say compensatory pick. That's what because what James Gladstone wants above all else, he wants flexibility to move up and down the board on draft weekend, to make additions to the roster in season. He feels he has that with 11 picks, and also the compensatories that would be added to his cupboard at this time next year. So in terms of Liam Cohen, just real quick on him, Trevor Lawrence, he says, you come in as a coach, quarterback is at a 100 level. You want him to get to a 500 level class. He says he probably ended last year at a 500, but now it's okay. What are the 3 or 4 things that you can really improve on? If you're Trevor Lawrence, is it a certain throw? Is it something at the line of scrimmage? So now it's almost like he's now going to grad school when he gets back next month in the Liam Cohen offense. And I think the Jaguars will be even better because of it.
Well, there you go. Ryan O'Halloran, he has been busy. He has been on top of absolutely everything. I asked you about the league changes, but I mean, for the most part, it's it's just whether or not the officials are going to be there. If not, they're going to make the eye in the sky much more involved if they are replacement officials. Did anything catch you there by surprise, good or bad?
Yeah, not good or bad, but I was surprised about how, the NFL, they sent a gag order out to the team saying, do not talk about the officials thing. Well, the league office is doubling down. They're leaking everything about how talks are going. This is what we've offered them. This is a fair wage. You institute that rule. If they have replacement refs in week 1, Rick, they're going to be able to call a legal contact from New York. Once that toothpaste is out of the tube, it's tough to put that back in when the real when the full-time refs come back. So this is both sides have gone public, so they're not happy. They've cut off talks. This is something to be monitored for the next couple months because the owners do not want to repeat of 2012 in the Hail Mary. Yeah,
you can't afford to have that. And listen, I think everyone wants the full-time officials there, but I'd like to see a little bit of accountability. Again, these officials, whether it's whether it's the media, the players, the coaches, the front office, or the owner, everyone gets criticized in this game. You cannot say anything to these officials except for one pool reporter.
Yeah, and I think that's what the league is saying. Hey, we'll raise your wage. You're not going to be full-time NFL employees. I agree with that because these guys have other jobs that probably make good money at this stage of their life. But I do want to see the accountability go up that, okay, if you're making several missed calls, you're benched for a week or you're permanently benched. So that's what the league wants. This is what the league office wants to get after is that accountability.
Ryan O'Halloran, he is the columnist of the Florida Times Union. He's done some great work over the last couple of days in Phoenix. Read all about it at the Florida Times Union. And, of course, you hear Ryan a bit here on our stations, including each and every Tuesday night with Rick Ballou. Ryan, always a lot of fun. Safe travels back.
All right, thanks, Rick. Talk to you later.
There he goes. Good stuff. He did. He put together some good stuff this week. And, spoke with all three. Just got done with Shad Khan. I wasn't aware of that. I follow him religiously on Twitter, but, certainly his sit down with James Gladstone, his sit down with Liam Cohen today, some really good stuff. And, just everything that the Jags have now compared to where they were a year ago. I mean, just think about that. And I get it that a lot of you are still burning about a lost opportunity against Buffalo. They should have beaten Buffalo. And, there's no do-overs. You can't take that back. But this isn't a one-hit wonder, okay? I mean, this feels like a organization that is really set and is going to be moving forward again this year. I mean, the way I look at it, it's always about the quarterback, and it's about that window of opportunity. Others will disagree and say, look at the last 2 Super Bowl winners, Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold. I think they're very good quarterbacks. Others would, disagree with that. Certainly Trevor really falling into his prime. So let's grab some questions here, and we'll get ready for our second hour. The best way to join us is on the text line, which is 641-1010. brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also get us on YouTube. Just go to 1010XL into the night.
The NBA is on 1010XL.
With 8 games left to go in their season, Paolo Banchero and the Orlando Magic look to rally in the Valley against Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns.
Tonight at 7 on 1010 AM.
Do not buy a diamond in Jacksonville until you check out Beard's Diamonds. Hickett here. You're going to see a much bigger selection, higher quality than those chain store diamonds, and you'll get a better price. Beard's is different. It's Jacksonville through and through. Locally owned by the Lupos for more than 40 years. Amazing reputation, value, honesty, transparency. And they take care of our local customers. A free lifetime warranty, free maintenance, free sizing, free cleaning, free insurance appraisals. They don't nickel and dime you. Everything included at no charge. And Beers loves our local heroes in uniform. Our military, police, firefighters, nurses, 25% off every day, every purchase. And here's something cool. Nobody at Beards is paid on commission, so there's no pressure to sell you or upsell you. Take my advice. Visit Beards. Get to know the local owners. Let them teach you the inside tricks on how to buy a diamond the smart way. So shop local, shop Beards, and get so much more for your money. Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
I want total control of my team. The off-season is the time to check under the hood and add replacement parts.
I want to be able to recruit anybody that I want. No interference.
Follow the road to the regular season with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Bari here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Bari Orthopedics today or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
That's the buzzer. And on Hard Rock Bet, buzzer beaters mean bonus bets. Every time a team you bet to win or cover hits a game-winning buzzer beater, you score a $25 bonus bet. An extra $25 on top of your winnings. Just opt in and bet $5 on any team. As many teams as you want, all tourney. Win bonus bets at the buzzer. Only on Hard Rock Bet.
Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this week and weekend at VyStar Ballpark. Tonight, enjoy 2-for-1 hot dogs courtesy of Stallmeyer. Tomorrow, it's day baseball in Duval with a noon start time on a Yingling Business Person Special powered by Miller Electric. Baseball all week and weekend. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable, family, fun.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Hey guys, Coach Campo here. We just left Tony D's Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295. My wife is still raving about the eggplant parmesan. At Tony D's, it's more than just pizza. I'll see you there.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, real good stuff from Ryan O'Halloran. I do appreciate that. We're going to fill that up during the 7 o'clock hour, give you an opportunity to voice your opinion. You can join us tonight on YouTube. Go to 1010XL Into the Night, or you can go to our text line at 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. I thought that this was an early April Fool's joke, but apparently moments ago during our conversation, Tiger Woods has announced that he is stepping away from golf to seek treatment and focus on his health. Now, that's a statement. Someone has also told me he had a press conference. I'd be surprised if he actually had a presser. I would have thought that it was a, just a statement. I'll find out officially during the top of the hour break. I think it'd be too soon for Tiger to have a press conference, especially one where no one's around him. I mean, how do you announce a presser if there's no one there, right? And I'm more under the impression that he released the statement. Remember, Tiger's always been, he was really the first athlete to break his own news. He was kind of like, listen, I don't need the media. I got social media. I'll come right out and say whatever it is. I'm having surgery. I'm playing in this event. But I think this is the smart way to go about it. And the crazy part for me is that none of this would be discussed if he had a driver. Okay, now he was sweating. He apparently looked like he was under the influence of something pretty major. Again, they found a couple of I don't know what pills they were, but they were painkillers in his pocket. And, he's been rumored to be bad off for quite some time. But where I'm at is this. Because I know of athletes who have so much pain that they need this type of treatment. Talk about simple marijuana. You can't call it simple marijuana, Baloo. It's the gateway to other drugs. Okay. All right. As significant as overdoing it and popping pills, which I have to imagine is insanely addictive. I do not know. Not a pill popper. But is Tiger doing this because he needs it to get through the day? Sure. Is he overdoing it? Has he turned into a Lord Favre, where, Brett Favre was going from locker to locker, getting meds, getting painkillers. He talked about it. I mean, he was just absolutely nuts. Some of those Brett Favre stories, about him first thing in the morning, just draining Bloody Mary after Bloody Mary after Bloody Mary, then making the dramatic shift to beer at 9 o'clock and popping the pill. I mean, really bad off. You almost, I almost feel bad for him. He's just such a bad guy. It's tough to feel bad for Lord Favre. But with Tiger Woods, I mean, where are you going to be able to separate what he needs? I mean, I don't know if you can just get to and again, I'm not a doctor. I don't have any idea if you can just say, no, you need to limit it to what is prescribed. One every 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours? I don't know. Because it feels like he's overdoing it. And again, that would be just a guess, and it's one that many people do actually believe. All right, so that will be hanging around here in our second hour. But let's get to everything that's going on with the Jags. Okay? I mean, a lot of news. I'll go through it again. We're going to play some Liam Cohen comments that he made about this football team, the direction of this football team. We're going to do that as well. Coming up in hour number 2 of Into the Night.
Children learn a lot about life from sports. Teamwork, discipline, and fair play. Values that can only be passed on by a kind, caring, mature
1010XL.
As America's #1 motorcycle insurer, Progressive has your back.
Like if I need a replacement part.
Sure, we can help with that.
Nice. Hey, I just entered this online contest for coolest bike in the world. You think maybe you can vote for me?
Actually, we just do insurance, not popularity contests.
Yeah, I know. But what's your email? I'll just send you the link real quick. You can vote like 100 times a day. They'll never know.
To be clear, Progressive has your back for insurance only. So get a quote and see if you can save.
So what I'm hearing is there's a little bit of wiggle room.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates covered subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
MyGate Rewards members, this deal is just for you. Right now, grab any 2 12-ounce Red Bulls and get 2 of your favorite Roller Grill items for just $1. When you need a boost, Gates got you. See store for details.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Bernardino Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Bernardino Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Liberty Landscape Supply is sponsoring Whiteout Cancer Night with the Jacksonville Icemen, Friday, April 3rd. Wear your Icemen gear in store and grab free game tickets while supplies last. Bring your ticket back with any $25 purchase and get a free 1-gallon plant. Liberty Landscape Supply has been making outdoor projects simple in Jacksonville for nearly 20 years. Find one of the 4 area locations at libertylandscapesupply.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street-legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and Designs in Jacks Beach. They have new, used, and fully customized carts from the top brands like Atlas, Dodge, and Pilot Car. Every cart gets a complete expert inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Their team can help you design the perfect custom cart that fits your style and needs. For your custom golf cart, visit dynamicdrivesdesign.com today and see your perfect ride.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Ready tonight till 8, tomorrow night 6 to 8. How about Thursday noon to 2? We're going to do it during the mid part of the afternoon on Thursday, then back with you 6 to 8 on Friday night. All right, the Tiger Woods announcement was a statement. It was not a press conference. He had this to say, and I quote, "I know and understand the seriousness of this situation I find myself in today. I am stepping away for a period of time to seek treatment and focus on my health. This is necessary in order for me to prioritize my well-being and work towards lasting recovery. I'm committed to taking the time needed to return in a healthier, stronger, and more focused place, both personally and professionally. I appreciate your understanding and support and ask for privacy for my family, loved ones, and myself at this time." End of quote. So there you have it. The last time Tiger played on the PGA Tour was July of 2024. He hadn't removed himself from the Masters. It was the day before his car crash. President Trump went on Fox News and said Tiger's not playing in the Masters. He's going for some of these ceremonies and some of the events, but he was not going to play. So it was actually the President of the United States who broke the news. And then that very next day, Tiger got in the rollover accident. And now all the details are out about his impairment and everything that goes along with it. So this is the right move. Most will forgive. And he obviously has a problem. And he's seeking help. I hope he gets the help. All right, let's leave that alone because I don't think there's really anything else we can do with that at this particular time, especially when there's quite a bit of Jaguars news out there. If you're joining us for the first time, okay, the Jaguars, through the NFL owners, have been approved to play their 2027 season in Orlando. There's going to be a press conference in Orlando tomorrow. I know that Hayes Carline is going to be there for it, but the 2027 home games will be played in Orlando. Of course, they're going to play this year here, 6 games, and there's going to be limited seating with the building that does continue. The Jaguars have also asked the NFL for the bye week after their consecutive games in London. My opinion would be the NFL is going to say yes to this. I don't know how they cannot. Jacksonville's been the ringleader for international games. There's 9 international games. I mean, you look at some of the comments. I mean, you can go to what Kyle Shanahan said about playing in Australia and traveling 19 hours to begin the season. San Fran, I think, may have a second international game as well next year. So you have that to take into consideration. All right, let's get to what, Liam Cohen said a lot of really interesting things about the Jaguars. Ryan O'Halloran and I last hour talked about, the run game. And what's really interesting about this is it feels like a lot of Jaguars fans are upset about the loss of Travis Etienne, where I've always been one of those who believes you can just draft or you can get in free agency and plug and play at running back. There's a lot of dynamic backs, and I think that Bashal Tutin is going to be really good. We'll see what happens with Chris Rodriguez Jr. I think the one component that was really missing last year for the Jaguars, in my opinion, was short distance, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and 2, straight ahead running, between the guards running. That's not necessarily Travis Etienne's forte, even though you go through his career, a few years ago, the year prior to his injury, he led the NFL in forcing missed tackles. He was right up there with the league leaders in yards after contact. Some swivel, some wiggle, no doubt about it. But do they have a straight line runner, particularly in short yardage situations? I really do believe that is going to be what this football team is all about, despite the emergence of Trevor Lawrence, despite the fact that the offense improved, significantly in so many categories. I totally expect them to be a better rushing football team coming up this year. Anyway, Liam Cohen was asked about being able to run the football. Here's what he had to say.
Winning is a fantastic deodorant. It covers up what stinks about you. It covers up what your blind spots are, what your negatives, what your areas of improvement are. And if we can attack those areas with humility, with honesty, with a relentless pursuit to improve those areas, then we'll still continue to work on the areas in which we're good, and we need to hone in on those things. But look, we're always looking for better balance on offense, right? I think the run game for the first 8 weeks of the season really kind of carried us offensively and allowed us to win some of those games. And then the pass game, the second half of the season, really allowed us to go offensively. And so we have to create a little bit more balance there.
I remember the year that Jacksonville with Blake Bortles, I want to say it was 527 rushing attempts, 527 passing attempts. I mean, it was absolutely out of control to be a 50% balance across the board. You look at this football team and consider a 13-4 record, a winning record. Unless there are exceptions, Brady in New England, Mahomes, maybe Allen, although Buffalo likes to run the football as well, including Allen as the quarterback. Usually when you're very heavy pass and not so much rush, it's because you're trailing in games, right? There are exceptions. Jacksonville, 13-4 last year, okay? Still, 563 passing attempts, 489 rushing attempts. That's pretty good. It really is. I mean, that's 11, 63. That's 74. That, you all right, let's compare that just to, define my point. Go to when they were 3-14 in 2023. Okay. And Trevor missed 7 games that year, but they still threw the football 546 times. They ran it 414 times. So you can really see the difference. And early on in the year, Jacksonville was a very good rushing the football team. That got away from them. And as good as ETN was, he only averaged 4.3 yards a carry. I want to say the last 8 games of the year, he averaged around 3.8 yards a carry. So the emphasis on being able to run the football, in my opinion, is crucial for the Jaguars as they get ready for this year. All right, we're going to play. And they went from, I think it was 18.7 points a game or 18.8 a game to 27.9 a game. I mean, just think about that for a moment. You improved almost by 10 points in a year, 9+ points in one season. Your offense got that much better. And it's tough to sit and criticize when you put up 28 points a game. But think of the areas where they can get better. Okay? Running the football. Look at the screen game. Running the ball in the screen game are a huge part of what Liam Cohen is all about. Just go back and look at the numbers he had a couple of years ago in Tampa Bay. So, yeah, ETN's not here, and obviously he has that relationship going way back to college with Trevor Lawrence, and I would have thought he would have caught more balls last year. Something was missing. And I've talked to a lot of people about it. If you really evaluate the screen game, it was almost like a dead giveaway. The analogy I gave was, it was kind of like a pitcher who's tipping balls, whether it's a slider or a fastball, and somehow it's discovered from the opponent's dugout that they know what type of pitch is coming. It almost felt like defenses last year did know when, in fact, Jacksonville was going to run a screen. And the end result of that is Travis Etienne only caught 36 footballs in 17 games. I mean, that's 2 a game, slightly there above it. That's going to absolutely improve. I mean, really good hands with Tootin, really good hands with Allen Jr. The book on Rodriguez is that he doesn't have great hands, but Cohen had him at Kentucky. And that's the most balls he's caught that one season. So a better rushing team, a better screen team. And, it was somewhat of a lost season for Brian Thomas Jr. So and look at the improvement over the last 8 games with Trevor Lawrence. You add all that stuff up, the offense should be that much better. Now, they're going to get a more difficult schedule. There's no doubt about that. But I still think if you look at what they did and what they can do, there's still room for that offense to improve. All right, no place I'd rather be than right here Bowden Road, studios of 92.5 FM. However, if I was not here, how about the Blue Crab House? Do you realize right now they have $2 margaritas till 9? Do you realize tomorrow night until 9 they have $1 steamed oysters? Okay. Those are the next 2 nights. Tonight, $2 margaritas till 9. Best seafood you'll find anywhere. And again, dollar oysters on Wednesday night until 9 o'clock as well. Right off of San Jose. Just look for Jolington Creek Road. You cannot miss it. It is the Blue Crab House.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Trudell with time looking long down the field for Jimmy Smith, who's got separation, and he makes the catch. Touchdown!
The home of the home team you grew up with. 1010XL.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie. Join our show this Wednesday from 4 to 6 at Liberty Landscape Supply on San Jose. Wear your Iceman gear, and you can win free tickets to Whiteout Cancer Night with the Jacksonville Icemen.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Looking for golf that doesn't feel like golf? Welcome to Pine Royale, Callahan's new golf entertainment destination. Play a 9-hole par 3 course, compete in TrackMan-powered driving bays, and get ready for all-new 18-hole mini golf coming soon. As the sun goes down, the course lights up. Add in great food, a full bar, and space to hang with the whole crew, and suddenly golf feels a whole lot more social. Search Pine Royale Callahan and come play today.
Checkmate.
I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our 2-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
Jacksonville, you're on the clock. When your oil change is due, don't waste your pick sitting at a dealership. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, there's no appointment needed. Just pull in, stay in your car, and in 15 minutes, you're done. That's a smart pick. With convenient locations, a 4.7-star national rating, and named #1 quick lube for customer service by Forbes, Valvoline is the easy choice. Make the right call. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your first-round pick for service.
Picking here, see clearly with the Eye Associates and trusted optometrists Zachary Boskool and Alice LaFlamme. From comprehensive eye exams, dry eye care, glaucoma management, diabetic eye care, and more, Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme are dedicated to protecting your vision. Immediate availability at all 5 Jacksonville locations. Schedule today with Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme by calling the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD at 296-0098.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Shohei Ohtani gets the baseball tonight. How about yesterday, Aaron? 6,515 in attendance for the Miami Marlins.
Wow.
6,500. And it was game 4 on the air. They were 3-0 going in.
Who'd they play?
I don't know who they played. I have to look it up again. I mean, every team was in action yesterday. But, I mean, it shouldn't matter. You're 3-0. I mean, we saw how active baseball fans are during the World Baseball Classic. There were, I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands who were representing, yet they're not right now. That's a little disturbing to me.
I'm not a huge baseball guy, so I don't know how, fans or fans of their team will react. I mean, is going 3-0 a big deal in baseball?
Is what now?
Is going 3-0 a big deal in baseball?
No.
Okay.
No,
I didn't think so. I mean, there's 180 something games.
162. Yeah. 162, but I mean, still they're off to a really good start. You look at some of these cities like Boston, New York, Chicago, St. Louis, Atlanta. They'd be going absolutely nuts about that. I mean, nothing's going to happen right now to the Marlins until they deal with their latest CBA. And, it really looks like we're headed towards a strike, unfortunately, in baseball. I hate it with all these young players. But that's a 10-10 start tonight. My goodness. Cardinals, Dodgers from Chavez Ravine. I'm going to watch that this evening, see what Ohtani can do. His first time getting the baseball. One other baseball note, because of this new ABS system where it's the Quez Tech, where you can tap the helmet and you can now call in with the science and the video to see if it was a strike and you're the hitter and you think it was a ball and you can overturn that call. They asked for exact measurements of the players. Well, with the 400 or so that had to give their height on opening day, the accumulation of the lies of height went more than 20 feet. I thought it was funny. Hey, you know what else? I didn't even get into. I went to rushing, and I went to Jacksonville when it came to rushing the football, and also how they didn't really take off as far as the screen game. This club averaged 27.9 a game. They also really struggled on third down. They really struggled in the red zone. I mean, I have to believe that privately, Liam Cohen is saying, we got to run the ball better. We got to do better with screens. We have to get better on third downs, and we have to become let's get 7 points, not settle for 3 when you get into the red zone. So they were down on all 4 of those categories. Not down compared to what Jacksonville did in 2024, 2023. Just down to what I think a 13-4 team looks like. And if you add the numbers up, because I've done it, think about the change that this team made. They averaged 18.8 in 24, okay? 18.8 points in 2024. They rose that to 27.9. So that's 9.1 a game. That in itself is insane. Defensively, they shaved off in one season They went from 25.6, which they allowed in 2024, to giving up last year 19.8. Okay? You combine those numbers, that's 14.9 a game. Their difference in overall scoring, points scored, points allowed, was 15 in one season. Think about that. That's a 2-touchdown difference in what the Jaguars were able to put together. And, think of all the penalties early on. And this football team can really improve in a lot of areas and still end up being, a football team that is really good. Okay. That's why I can't believe others are saying, yeah, they're going to go. No, I don't believe that at all. 40-04, don't forget about the Great Dixon. I don't know what that means. I don't want to do that either. Tommy Cooper for Lord Favre. Tommy Cooper, the actor, I imagine, is what you're saying, right? 47-04, believe the fact that Hunter is ahead of schedule for recovery shows what a genetic freak he is, and that trading up for him was the right move. Totally agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. He's a great teammate. He's a great leader. Some people are like, Brian Thomas Jr. may not like the fact that Hunter's getting all this attention. He won a Heisman. He's this and that. Don't let it get lost that what a teammate he is. And it's one thing to do it in July and August when the fans are out there, the media is out there, but my understanding is that that is the way he is, period. In the locker room, in the weight room, in practice when there's no media around. He's a very infectious guy. And you give him some more experience, and, I'm not saying he's a veteran in year 2, especially the fact that he only played 7 games. But I do believe that is going to be much better when it's all said and done. I mean, there's a real bona fide leader. How do I hate Judge? He's one of the nice guys. I don't hate anyone. I do not hate Judge. I thought Raleigh should have won the MVP. I think if Raleigh played in New York and not Judge, if Judge played in Seattle, Raleigh would have been the MVP. But the officials obviously are told to call less penalties in the playoffs, and it's a better product. Should be the same in the regular season. I don't get that feeling like what we have in the NHL. Okay? You get to playoff hockey, and outside of taking a stick and cracking it over some guy's head, they're not going to call a penalty. They let them play. I think what you need when you get to basketball, football, and even when you talk about the strike zone, if you're calling a high strike all night, be consistent in calling the high strike. You all of a sudden can't get away from it in the 8th and the 9th inning. If you've been making that call all night long, I haven't had him on the radio in a little bit, but I was going back and forth with him recently. We were talking about, this new product that's been brought into Major League Baseball. That's Doug Minkiewicz, who I, knew and covered at Florida State, and he went on and was part of that World Series Red Sox team in 2004. Doug is down in the Keys now. I mean, the guy's fishing all the time, and he wants to be a manager. He wants to be a coach eventually. But we were talking about the consistency of an umpire and how, in most cases, by the second inning, all right, what is this particular ump calling? So some consistency there. Same with hand fouls in the NBA. Same with traveling in the NBA. It's the same thing with holding in the NFL. We can agree or disagree on just about everything. Just be consistent. Call it that way early in the first quarter. Call it the same way late in the fourth quarter. It's when you change, and sometimes there are Jordan rules. There are in every sport that I just mentioned. Hockey's a separate animal. They just do not call penalties when you get deep into the third period, when you get certainly into sudden death playoff hockey. No doubt about that. All right, let's take our final one of the night, or not final one of the night, but our next break. I've had very few people complain to me about the length of a football game, right? I mean, a college basketball game lasts 2 hours, but the last 2 minutes, it's just ridiculous, right? It's free throw, timeout, 3-point hoisted, foul, free throw, timeout, let's review. It's a tough watch, right? I don't get a lot of that in football. You're going to get more of it now with this. So I think the question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to trust human error and keep it the way it's been? Or do you want to lengthen games, but you're getting it right? And, you don't have to answer that right now. You can let time play itself out. But I think that's where it's going to go.
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
I think the quality of the game is better than worrying about the length of a game. If I have to watch a football game that's usually 3 hours and it ends up being 3.5, 3 hours and 45 minutes, but they got 90% or 95% of the calls right, I'm okay with that.
And I think most people are. I do. Now, you have officials in your life. You're a referee. What do you think about some of these rule changes today? What do you think about the fact that they're only putting into place for replacement officials that you can basically call anything? If you miss a play, they can phone down and say, hey, you just missed a pass interference. If you just created a holding, they can call down and say, that wasn't a holding. They have that influence. Again, that only comes into play for replacement officials.
Yeah, I'm fine with most of it. I do think that most of these calls should be on the onus of the referee that's on the field. And what I mean by that is that some of these are judgment calls. Holding is a judgment call. Pass interference, that's to an extent, it's a judgment call. Now, there's times where some are more blatant than others, but for the most part, it's a judgment call. But there are times where a referee, where they're standing, they don't have a clear shot of looking at it, as obviously what we do at TV, because we see all the replays and stuff like that. So at that point, I'm fine with it. But for holding and stuff like that, I think we can leave that to the referees to trust their judgment. But for these newer ones, yeah, I mean, I think to answer your question, I think they should be like that regardless whether they're new officials or not. But for these, replacement officials, yeah, no, I definitely think it's necessary.
All right, let's carry this over. We'll grab some more calls as well, because to me, I've always been about common sense. Common sense. I don't care what the call is. If you can see it from the TV, the Barstool, the Lazy Boy, they can see it in New York. They can see it if there's a eye in the sky at that particular game. Not everyone has it. And, that's another issue, which is shocking considering how wealthy the NFL is. And just another thing to think about. And we'll talk about this on the other side. But in college basketball, you can play for 38 and a half minutes. And there are debatable calls about out of bounds. Okay. Why is it in the last 90 seconds of every single game that we see, there is a reviewable call then where there could have been one that was totally egregious earlier in the game and it wasn't called? All right. Much more to do with you tonight till 8.
And now details on the sudden announcement that has captured the attention of the entire world and the most fabulous prize one could wish for. A lifetime supply of
1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Tell me if this is you, because it's definitely me. I go to bed thinking, tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up early, jump in that ice bath I just bought, have a good breakfast, go for a morning walk, and order a veggie for my side instead of fries. Then the morning arrives. I press snooze, skip everything else I planned because I'll do it tomorrow. But that's the Awaken 180 difference. Tomorrow is today. It's so easy. You want to do it. Your coach will be there to help you do it. You won't want to let her down. Accountability, ease, feeling great. That's the Awaken 180 difference. Now you can download an app, Google a weight loss plan, or buy the latest gadget. But who actually helps you follow through when you couldn't do it before? I lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, and it was easy. No meds. I couldn't lose 5 pounds in a month on my own. Awaken 180 works, and it continues to work because it's set up to not let you fail. Succeed like we did at awaken180weightloss.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
As America's #1 motorcycle insurer, Progressive has your back.
Oh, like if I need a replacement part.
Sure, we can help with that.
Ah, nice. Hey, I just entered this online contest for coolest bike in the world. You think maybe you can vote for me?
Actually, we just do insurance, not popularity contests.
Yeah, I know. But what's your email? I'll just send you the link real quick. You can vote like 100 times a day. They'll never know.
To be clear, Progressive has your back for insurance only. So get a quote and see if you can save.
So what I'm hearing is there's a little bit of wiggle room.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates covered subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows in 295.
Hi, this is Dale Murray with Murray Automotive Group in Stark and Kingsland. Save yourself from those big city dealers and their fast-talking mumbo-jumbo. No matter what your automotive need is, we've got you covered. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and nobody beats our prices. I mean nobody. Shazam! Plus our exclusive 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty included on every qualified vehicle. And we'll trade anything from high heels to wagon wheels. Compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. Then come see me, Dale Murray. I'll be waiting for you. Shazam!
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Well, I'm going to put it right on Ohtani. He's the best player in the world, and you get an opportunity tonight to watch him pitch. It's late. Don't ask me how to get the game. You got to stream somehow, somewhere, and I will. I'll be watching. I am fired up to see him get the baseball tonight for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Again, if you haven't gotten into the swing of things, baseball related yet, that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you to watch the game, just like I don't tell you to watch the NHL. You're going to do what you want to do. I understand it's football in these parts, but man, some of these young baseball players are an absolute pleasure to watch so far this year. Loving it.
Are there any teams in the MLB that have three-peated before?
The Yankees, back in the 20s, I think the 27 Yankees.
20s?
Yeah. I mean, the Yankees won 4 with Joe Torre in a short period of time, but it wasn't 4 in a row. The A's actually won 3 in a row in 72, 73, and 74. The Reds beat the Red Sox in 75. Boy, it's amazing. I can remember all those World Series teams by heart in the 60s, 70s, into the 80s, and I for the life of me, I can't do it, since the turn of the millennium. It's unbelievable how that works. I don't even know how to explain it. But I don't think there's been one since. I want to say the Yankees won like 3 or 4 or something, along those lines. But obviously the Dodgers have that opportunity. Let's see. The Yankees won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row from 1949 to 1953. We dive back to the 20s here. 27 Yanks. Many think it's the best team ever assembled. All right, well, the Yankees only won in 27 and 28. They won in 23. They turned around again and didn't win until 1932. Let's look at modern times. Yankees won it in 96, the Marlins in 97. Then the Yankees did win 3 in a row in 98, 99, and 2000.
Oh, okay.
Before losing to the Snakes in 2001.
Who's that?
Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh.
Randy Johnson came out of the bully. Kurt Schilling was masterful. I mean, they actually beat Mariano Rivera.
Now I know there's some big time baseball fans out there like, this guy doesn't know that the Yankees three-peated back in 97 to 2000. Oh, no, I don't know.
It's easy to forget. It is. The Reds won 2 in a row, 75, 76, including 4-0 over the Yankees, who won the next 2 in 77, 78. Chambliss, the big home run in 77 to beat the Royals, walk off. And then Reggie had 3 home runs in 1 game against the L.A. Dodgers in 78. Yeah, I love baseball so much back then. Oh, and I love it now. It's just a different world. It is. There's really no other way to say it. But if you haven't watched Ohtani, man, you're missing a legitimate 5-tool player. And he's off to a slow start offensively. We'll see if he gets things going tonight. 27-72. Hey, Rick, I get what you're saying. The coach wants to score 7, but how many games did we lose because he didn't take the 3? Too many, my friend. Well, not too many. I mean, he only lost 5 games. I give him a pass for the first half not kicking the field goal against Buffalo. I've never wavered from that. That's Liam Cohen. He's going to go for it on 4th down. What I don't give him a pass for is not running Bayshell Tootin, who was just lighting up the Bills. And why they got away from that, I'll never know. 8340, hey, Blue, thoughts on Jaden Ivey getting let go for the Bulls? We got into this last night. His slurs. This guy was a top 5 pick. He averaged, 17 a game as a rookie, and he's done some good things. Why? Why would he say? There's been so many examples for decades of individuals who say things like this, and it costs them their job. I'm surprised he went down that road. 9423, Blue is someone who knows something about addiction and rehabilitation. I can say that a good rehab will get Tiger focused and simply living a content and useful life, minus all the narcotics. Yada, yada, yada. Golf won't even be on the table, especially not competitive golf, not to say. I hope you're right. I dealt with addiction. I think I told the listening audience, because I'm pretty honest about everything that happens in my life. But, like my best bud from Florida State has been homeless now for nearly 2 years. We brought him in for well over 100 days. Okay. And he is just a raging alcoholic. At one point, it was funny in college and post-college. And this guy had great jobs in South Florida. He ran breakers right on the water, some other nice hotel resorts right on the water. Wife, 2 great girls. He lost everything. Lost his job, lost his wife, lost his kids. He went out to Alabama to work with his sister. He called me one night from Tallahassee. He was on the side of the road. We brought him in for well over 100 days. And, he cleaned out my bar. I thought we could fix him. This guy got so bad. I had like these commemorative Boston Red Sox, 2004 beer can that's a collector's item. This guy's such an alcoholic, he drank that, okay? Which had been sitting in my bar since 2004. All right? So this would have been in 2024 probably. So you're talking about 20 years later. He's drinking room temperature beer that is more than 20 years because it's the only thing he can get his hands on. So I've seen addiction. When I tended bar, I saw alcoholics. I also saw excessive gamblers. All right? People who lost everything gambling. Listen, the NFL, everyone's in bed with gambling, right? Everyone is a part of it now, right? It makes money. Can you imagine that 10 years ago? Can you imagine marijuana 10 years? You don't hear them complain about marijuana anymore, do you? You know why? Because they finally listen to the players and the former players, that it helps them. It helps them get through the pains that they have on a day-to-day basis. Gambling in the NFL? That's insane. Gambling in sports is insane. To really think that that would actually be a part of it. And now, absolutely it is. Well, why? Because these owners are making more money. These colleges are making more money. Hand over fist. Most gamblers lose. Have fun meeting outside of the Philly Godfather, who will join us tomorrow. He's been absolutely on a tear. Have fun meeting a really successful sports gambler. There's only a few out there, right? Most do it and try to recover their losses. And hopefully you're not smart enough or dumb enough that you're taking food off the table. But, it is very addictive. There's so many addictions. Told you I'm a binge eater. I haven't had soda now in a full week. It's been 7 complete days, not one soda.
I've noticed that. I see, you usually have your Mountain Dew every day you come in here. It's good. How you feel?
I feel fine. I really don't miss it. I got after it pretty good on Saturday playing golf, and then we hit a couple of places. I thought I would need it on Sunday morning, and I didn't. I just went with the, what's it called? Pedialytes. So, anyway.
Is that what you're drinking in replace of it, or do you have a substitute?
No, I only drank it because I'm told you drink one of those before you go to bed, and you drink one of those and you wake up, and it's supposed to, limit the hangover.
Yeah.
Stay more hydrated. But we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated. I so far it's only been a week, so I could fall off very, very soon. Hey, my goodness, look at the time. I got to take a break. Hackers coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Mike Dempsey. If you're thinking about a bathroom upgrade, maybe turning that old tub into a safer walk-in shower, check out 5 Star Bath Solutions. I shopped around, talked to several companies, and I chose 5 Star because their customer service was simply incredible. Responsive, honest, upfront about the entire project, and their pricing was even better than expected. When you're ready for a fresh look, better comfort, and a bathroom space you'll love using every day, schedule your free consultation at 5starbathsolutions.com and get the 5-star experience.
James. Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
When you drive past a Kuhn Flowers location, did you know their inside showroom is filled with gift items? Kuhn Flowers isn't just for sending flowers. Frank Frangie here, and when I need a unique gift, I head for Kuhn Flowers, Beach Boulevard, and in Ponte Vedra since 1947. Kuhn Flowers.
Yo, E.T. here, and you know that on the field, preparation wins championships, right? Well, the same goes for your health. Right here in my side of town in Fleming Island, Encore Research Group is helping locals take charge through cutting-edge research studies. Everything from weight loss to diabetes and hypertension. Their team of local, multi-specialty doctors is focused on advancing medicine and keeping our community healthy. If you want to see if you qualify, check them out at EncoreDocs.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hacker Nation back from Disney World.
Yeah, it was fun. Successful trip. The little hack had a great time, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, I'm not 25 or 35 anymore. Those Disney trips, when you're there for 3 days, you're doing 7-8 miles walking a day. I looked on my phone. I don't know how accurate this is, but in 3 days, we walked 21.3 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, so a little sore today, but he enjoyed himself.
Yeah, I miss it now that they're old, and I have my oldest daughter in town. It was their birthday, but over the weekend, the thing that got me about Disney and Universal is every third kid is crying.
Yeah, the happiest place on earth is not always the case.
Oh, my God. I mean, and I know the lines are long, and in most cases it's hot, not necessarily as much right now, but I do miss it, but glad you had a good time. All right, what do you got going on tonight?
Yeah, obviously just left Orlando, and the big news today that the Jaguars are going to Orlando in 2027. So we'll certainly talk about that. I mean, it makes sense. And I'll tell you, you talk about Disney and Universal. It's a great opportunity for Jaguar fans, in 2027 to make a weekend out of it. Now, I do think, like I've already seen on Twitter, Jaguar Twitter is going to take over Epcot for one of the Saturdays and the around the world drinking and partying and whatnot, and then go to the game on Sunday. It's not ideal to not have games here, but the fact that it is in Orlando and all that tourist attractions that come with Orlando, it's probably the best case scenario of what they could have done. So I think Jaguar fans will find a way to enjoy themselves.
Hopefully they don't run out of water like the last time I went to a game there. Florida State LSU, third quarter, they ran out of water.
At Camping World Stadium?
Yes.
Wow. It's not a ringing endorsement. Hopefully that does not happen.
And I just talked about room temperature beer. I went as a fan, not as a member of the media. I watched a guy come out selling beer. I watched him take it out of the case. Okay, he dropped it in ice, but he came out and sold those beer in record time. They were in ice for 25 seconds. Okay,
Wow.
So you're drinking room temperature $22 beers there in Orlando. I've been to a ton of games there. The first one I went to was 94, Florida State, Notre Dame, but I've been to another Notre Dame game there, a Wisconsin game there. I went to a Dan Kendra start against Wake Forest.
Dan Kendra, wow.
There. I've always had a good time going to Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando's fun, and I'll say this about Camping World Stadium. I've seen people online say, well, it's for lack of better terminology, it's a dump, right? I don't think it's that. The bottom bowl has been renovated. The bottom bowl is actually pretty nice, and I know they're going to do some more renovations prior to the Jaguars arriving there. I've been there 3 times in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought it was a good stadium. Parking's not bad. Getting out of there is not bad. Again, maybe I'm a little biased because I spend so much time down there, but I think Jaguar fans, it's going to be the best
of the options that were on the table.
Yeah, there's not a lot around there as far as bars and that.
No, it's a little bit of a walk to Church Street. That's an issue, but that's an issue here right now. So
there's no tailgaters.
There is no tailgaters
in Orlando.
That's right.
All right, so have a fun show.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, that's it. We are out of here. Appreciate all of your input tonight, as we do each and every night, right here on Into the Night. I'm going to watch some baseball, and I'm going to watch some hockey tonight. It's going to be a fun Tuesday night. I hope you have one as well. All right, thank you to Ryan O'Halloran. We'll have more on the Jaguars tomorrow. We'll hear from John Osher. The Philly Godfather has been absolutely spectacular with his picks. We'll have him on to get us closer to the Final Four coming up on Saturday. Thank you to Aaron Williams. I am Rick Ballou. Have yourself a great night.